This video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about chemicals. And this chemical is the chemical that we use all the time. This is what we use 80% of the time. Again, I talked about some chemical safety and about it, but this is how we're able to clean stuff. And so I'm going to go through some slides here and we can talk about it. But again, this is how we clean, and this is how we can disinfect, and this is how we can sanitize, because what we're using is actually a little bit stronger than what the CDC lets us know that how that we can sanitize. So this isn't just a cleaning agent. We're also sanitizing these houses when we're cleaning this stuff. So, but again, this is some things that we need to do. So starting out first, it is called sodium hypochlorite. And it's right here, you can see it is pool shock. Let me move my head. Pool chlorinizer. Pool shock is some other words for it. Chlorine bleach. Back in the day, like a couple months ago before I started filming this video, before COVID-19 came out, I would highly recommend not using the word bleach. But now that the COVID came out, it is something that we are sanitizing these houses as of when we are also cleaning these houses. And so by that being said, this is some way that we are cleaning it. Again, it is very corrosive. In this state, we can get it in either 10 or 12%, 12.5%. And that basically means that it's either 10% sodium hypochlorite and 90% water in the jugs that we're buying, or it's 12.5% and 87.5% water in these jugs. So this is how we do it. Again, it's very corrosive. It can damage a lot of stuff if not properly used. So we want to make sure that we're using it right and we're not just destroying stuff, killing plants, killing stuff. So as long as we're in the right dilution, we will be fine. Now, with that also being said, if we are doing a roof and we are at a higher percentage, and I will go through the percentages of what we need to clean, then obviously we need to make sure that we dilute it down, so that way dilution is the solution. So, we're going to add more water so that way we can make sure that we don't kill anything. And I'll get a little bit deeper in here shortly. It will clean any organic growth. Anything that is organic, it will clean. It will clean it by basically killing it. And that is basically how it kills viruses and everything else. And that's why you're able to do that. We're going to be able to clean siding with it, stucco, concrete, hardy board, shingles, roof tile, all the different things we can clean with sodium hypochlorite. Also known as SH. People refer to it as SH. They may refer to it to pool shock, all different kinds of things. All right, so these are some things that we can clean and the percentages that it will clean. So on the vinyl siding, house siding, stuff like that, hardy board, all those great things, we're going to clean them at about a 0.75 to 1.5%. And so don't matter if we are doing house washing, whether we're doing it through the downstream injector, whatnot, this is where we want that percentage range. The next one here is we got the roof cleaning. We're going to be at about a 4 to 6% mixture. If you want to clean it once, I recommend just hitting it at 6%. My thought of it is if you do it at 4 and you got to hit it twice, I'd rather just hit it at 6 and less chance of killing stuff and damaging stuff. The next one here is just concrete or rock, 4 to 6% again. And then again, stucco right here is the 3 to 6%. So again, we're talking vinyl siding, aluminum siding, hardy board, painted surfaces, deck cleaning, PVC fencing, composite deck. I'm going to use that 0.75 to 1.5%. to clean and do house washing. And however I get that is how, if I'm doing it by, say, downstreaming, I'm probably going to go either a straight 12 and a half, or I can cut that in half. And if I cut it in half, basically, if I go 50-50, which is 50% water and 50% sodium hypochlorite, that's going to get me to about the 0.75. If I go straight sodium hypochlorite, 12.5% right out of the bucket, that's going to give me that 1.5%. That's about all I can get out of a downstream injector is 1.5%. I can't get no stronger than that. So this is kind of where I'm at and how I'm cleaning wise. But even at that 1.5%, we got to be careful there. That's about the point that we will start killing stuff. That's about the time we will start killing grass, flowers, trees, bushes, rose bushes, Japanese maples, all kinds of stuff that we don't want to kill. So the way we fix that is we water down all those flowers and plants before we start coming. Because if we talking about this, I'll talk about that a little bit at the end when I can go big stream. But we really want to be careful so that way we don't kill stuff and damage stuff. Stucco, and we can pre-treat and post-treat concrete. We can need to be about that 3 to 4% to clean it. This building here was anywhere from about 3% to 6%. And the reason why it was such a various range is because this building was about an hour and a half away from our shop where we actually had bleach. And so we started with straight, and we started this. We used 25 gallons, fill it back up with water, use another 25 gallons, fill it back up with water, use another 25 gallons. And so we got it down to about 3%. And at 3%, it was taking a little bit longer and a little bit harder to clean. So, we just had to make it work and do it. This was a very large building. It was a big YMCA, and it cleaned out really nice. It cleaned up really nice. But again, these are some things that we can either pre-treat or post-treat and that kind of thing. Again, concrete, 4 to 6%, roofs, retaining walls, all this is going to be in that 4 to 6%. I always did 6% because, my theory and philosophy on it is I want to spray it once and be done. I don't want to spray it twice. If I have to spray it twice, that's just twice the chances of me killing other stuff. I'm not making sure it's watered down and that kind of thing. So again, this is some things that we want to make sure that we are making sure that it is clean. Now, what I was saying about making sure that we don't kill the flowers and bushes and all that kind of thing is we really want to make sure that we are if we're using that 1.5% and up, we really want to make sure that we are flooding the flowers and all that kind of stuff with water before we start spraying the chemical. Because what can happen is if we start spraying that chemical, what can happen is if them flowers are dry and they haven't had no water in a while, they're going to suck up anything that first gets to them. So if it is that sodium hypochlorite will actually turn to bleach, will actually turn to salt when it sits there. Well, what does salt do? Well, salt kills stuff, right? Because salt sucks all the water out of it, and that will kill it. So we really want to make sure that we're filling these things up with water, so that way when they do get stuff, it'll suck it. And then when that bleach hits it, and after it sucked up all the water, and that bleach hits it, or that's SH, whatever you want to call it, then we can just knock it off the plant, and it's not going to hurt it. So again, dilution is the solution. We're going to water it down as much as we can. Especially with roof cleaning, I mean, we're going to water. So with that being said, this is how we can make sure that we don't kill stuff. Again, sodium hypochlorite is very, if we get it on our skin, we want to make sure we get it off, especially if we get into that stronger solution. We really want to make sure we get it off. Bleach does have sodium hypochlorite. Will only live for so long. It will get weak on you. And so some things that we can do to make SH last longer is we can not store it out in the sun if we can. Try to store it in a dark, not a black container, but the blue container. These are some things that will help it last. Bleach will get old. It will die, um, and it won't be good. It usually has about a month to 2 months shelf life. About that 4 week, you'll start noticing it's starting to get weaker and weaker. There is some test strips you can put in there to say how strong it is. The non-scientific way to do it, and the way to do it that can tell you real fast, but there is some precaution that you need to do, and I'm going to let you know that it ain't the safest way to do it. Obviously, the test strips are the safest ways, but the way I've done it is basically you want to just stick the tip of your finger in it, make sure that it don't have no cuts or anything on it, or it's going to burn because it's going to clean it. And what you're going to do is just stick the tip down into there, and it will start turning white. If it starts turning white, you got good hot bleach. Again, we're going to get this and rinse it off of our finger so it doesn't stay there. But if we stick it down in that bleach and it does nothing, then that bleach is dead. Basically, we have salt water at that point. So these are some ways that we can make sure that we are using good bleach and that it's actually going to work and do what we need it to do. Again, sodium hypochlorite, this is our #1 ingredient. When I owned my business, I would go through 600 gallons a week because I was running 4 trucks. And so, we were going through a lot of bleach through that. There is some things, though, that we need to pay attention to. Sodium hypochlorite, we are only allowed to haul by DOT, US DOT. We're only allowed to haul 1,000 pounds. And so, you say, well, how much is that? It's 1,000 gallons or 100 pounds of bleach. SH weighs 10 pounds per gallon, so we're only allowed to carry 100 gallons on our machine or on our trailer. If we carry more than 100 gallons or more than 1,000 pounds, then we need to have a placard on the side of our truck. So that is why we want to stay below that 1,000 pounds. And if even though you say, well, I only do 50-50 and I got 150 gallons. No, they go over the container size. They don't know how much water you're putting in there. So they can hammer you for having too much of the sodium hypochlorite in your vehicle. So this is why we want to make sure that, we are covering that you're not carrying too much of it. So again, I just wanted to just really push that sodium hypochlorite is what we use to clean. It works great. The more you use it, the better you know how it works, what it can clean, what it can't clean. And really, that's what all our different chemicals are for. What can this clean? What can it not clean? So we just got to know, is it organic? Is it inorganic? Along all those lines. So sodium SH will clean anything organic. If it's organic, it's going to kill it, and we're going to wipe it off, wash it off. And this is also why we use SH, because if we just use pressure, all we're doing is knocking those spores off, those mildew spores, whatever spore that's growing on there. All we're going to do is knock them off, and that spore is still in that vinyl siding, that concrete, all that kind of stuff. Where if we use SH, it's going to go down into the root, it's going to kill it, and then we'll be able to just knock it off, and that is how we're able to keep our houses clean and along those lines. So just wanted to get you on the SH. SH works great, and just be careful. It can be dangerous. It can burn you. It can give you 3rd-degree burns. So we got to be careful on what we're doing. Also, it will make our shirts get speckled. So for clothing wise, we would want to wear 100% polyester. If we wear 100% polyester shirts or pants and that kind of thing, then we won't look like we went to a bleach party. If we don't, and we just wear non-polyester cotton shirts, it's going to look like we go to a bleach party. Back in the 80s, when people used to pay a whole lot for the bleach out jeans, you won't have to, because you will have them automatically. So just be careful and have a great day.